Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland back at the Great Western Forum here in Inglewood, California, getting set for match number 2. Team Toyota and Paul Mitchell. Karch Kiraly has just come over and said, I'm all right, Cy. I can play, and I'm feeling good. We shall see, however, whether he can do it. Match 2, Coca-Cola has already won only 4 nights of Team Cup, so you have to make your opportunities count. Karch Kiraly, of course, the captain of Team Toyota, and his partner this year, Kent Steffes, the other captain. So we are set for the introduction of the lineups. Let's now go to Sam Lagana.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to game number 2 of tonight's doubleheader of Great Western Bank Team Cup Volleyball. Our second matchup pits Team Paul Mitchell against Team Toyota. Let's meet the lineup for Team Paul Mitchell. From Pacific Palisades, California, out of Stanford and UCLA, the captain, number 17, Kent Steffes. From Torrance, California, out of the University of Southern California, number 1, Bill Stetson. From Rancho Palos Verdes, out of USC, wearing number 2, Dan Greenbaum. From Los Gatos, California, out of Long Beach State, number 4, Matt Lyles. From Los Angeles, California, out of UC Santa Barbara, wearing number 8, David Rutman. From Playa del Rey, out of Cal State Northridge, wearing number 9, Big Bad Bald Bob Samuelson. From Newport Beach, California, out of Pepperdine University, number 11, Mike Blanchard. And out of Honolulu, Hawaii, and the University of Hawaii, number 14, Pono Ma'a. The coach for Team Paul Mitchell from Pacific Palisades, Jarrett Elliott. And now let's meet the opposition, Team Coca-Cola. The captain is from Santa Barbara, California, out of UCLA, number 15, Karch Kiraly. From Santa Monica, California, out of UC Santa Barbara, number 1, Gary Sato. From Playa del Rey, California, out of the University of Southern California, number 3, Tim Hovland. From Newport Beach, California, out of USC, wearing number 4, Nick Becker. From Fort Dodge, Iowa, out of Pepperdine University, Malibu, number 9, Rod Weil. From San Diego, California, out of USC, wearing number 13, Pat Powers. From Fort Collins, Colorado, out of San Diego State, number 14, Mark Miller. And volleyball's legend from Manhattan Beach, California, out of USC, number 99, Steve Obradovich. The coach for Team Toyota from Huntington Beach, California, Rocky Sorelli. That's our lineup for tonight's match. Fasten your seatbelts as we get ready for game 2.
And Team Toyota, you saw Steve Obradovich pointing to his chest, the number 5, and Mark Salat indicating the 5 championships in 6 years that Steve Obradovich has won here in Team Cup. Will he sniff? Will he play? We will have to find out after Paul Sunderland gives you the rules again.
Very quickly, 2 out of 3 games. The first 2 games to 30 points. Unusual scoring system, but bear with me. A point is scored every time the ball is put in play until one team reaches 27. From that point on, the score is frozen. You must serve to score. The third game, same rules apply. However, we only play to 11, and the score will be frozen at 7. Thereafter, you must serve to score.
For Team Toyota, Ken Taylor, first referee. He's not for Team Toyota. He's for either of them, just as long as it's a quick match.
Boy, and he knows where the camera is and has his eyes ready.
Bobby Clark, our second referee. Karch Kiraly not going to start. So apparently his sprained ankle, he's sitting on the bench, Team Toyota bench. And the ignition is not on him at the moment. Karch Kiraly, Rod Wild, not getting the start at setter, and Rocky Sorelli. the head coach. So let's see how Team Toyota can play without Karchgarai in the lineup. Obradovic is in. They whip it out left side to Powers, and he buries it down the line. Will Toyota elevate its game without Karch?
Well, they better. You know, you're talking about missing arguably the best player of all time, certainly for the United States. And but they have the athletes to do it. And Pat Powers certainly able to take over a match like this with his hitting and blocking ability.
Team Toyota mid-front line. Nick Becker, who wants to be a swing hitter, a starter in 1996. Hovland in the middle, the beach star of yesteryear and today. Mark Miller and Pat Powers right behind him. Little tip shot. And Kent Steffes will serve. He won more money this year than any other player in volleyball history. $332,000. He won a Ford truck. He thought about giving that to his brother Byron and decided not to, and thought he'd better sell it. He's a man of great business wisdom. Sato.
To heck with brotherly love. How about some more cash?
Matt Lyles, former Long Beach State star, who's just coming out on the beach tour. He played in the Legends of Volleyball tournament a couple of weeks ago. He'll be involved in that collegiate all-star match. You can see that on Prime Ticket, 8 o'clock on October 7th, the first airing of the Legends of Volleyball. If you're on Prime Network, check your local listings for dates and times. Hovland, not sure if he'll be passing a lot, as Obradovic and Samuelson. Lyles got it.
Find that one. Matt Lyles, a good, solid volleyball player. A little bit downsized if he wanted a chance to challenge the likes of Nick Becker and others to be a swing hitter on the national team. I think he's got the volleyball skills to do it, but he's got to get a lot stronger, only 170 pounds.
Kent Steffes with the serve, point per play. Paul Mitchell with a lead of 3-2.
What? Go.
Double contact, that's okay. He was blocking.
Lyles again.
Doug Powers. And Powers flies one long point. Paul Mitchell. So Paul Mitchell off to a quick start. Gary Sato is the setter. You see him number 1, the brother of Eric Sato, the older brother. Gary played at UC Santa Barbara. Assistant coach on the USA Olympic team in 1988 and 92. He's a very smart player and coach.
Very experienced. You know, when Fred Stern wanted somebody back to come out and help, he went right to Gary Sato. This is a player who can still dish the ball around, very athletic, stays in good shape, and very, very smart. And I think not a bad move by Rocky Chiarelli to start Gary Sato. You're going to see Rod Wild out there a lot, but let Sato get out there and settle things down and come up with a system.
I'm really surprised. I think Karch might not play at all, because you would think if he warmed up, the ball poked out of the way of Sato. If Karch warmed up at all and he thought he could play, you get him in.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
now he'll sit on the bench, and that ankle has to just puff up and stiffen up.
If you have an injury, like a sprained ankle, you come out, you get as warm as you possibly can. It's taped. So unless you land on somebody else, you're not going to do any more damage. And you try to play right away. The worst thing you can do is cool down all over again.
Becker trying to jam off the hands out of bounds. And 5 guys in white saying he touched it. But the most important man is Ken Taylor. He said no. And Mike Blanchard will serve. Blanchard, 6'5", 195, out of Pepperdine University. Technically the last man cut in 1984 in his hopes of making the Olympic team. Lyles off the hand. Now, it's probably non-scouted is Matt Lyles. A couple of the beach guys have seen him. They know about him, but they have not played against him, so he might have an advantage for a while.
You've got a quick arm. You have to get over against Lyles early, not be flailing around. Good disciplined block against him.
Becker tried to hit against Samuelson.
These are 2 players. No.
Oh! And Pono Ma'a. He was in the middle of the 3-man block as Karchgarai on the bench. Injured, not playing yet.
But into the game, he's identifying opposing hitters. Who's in the front row, who's available right now to Dan Greenbaum. One of them is Pono Ma'a.
Nice dig by Sato. Obradovic. Oh, and the ball drops. Mark Miller and Nick Becker performing a husband and wife play of no communication perfectly.
Lots of arguing, just a moment of silence right at the crucial moment, yelling at one another.
Pono Ma'a, one of the great names in volleyball. Love it. With the serve, left side Becker, and he's stuffed. And it appears that Team Paul Mitchell has the organization worked out very early. They've got 4 big guys up front.
A lot of players who can do several things, and Bob Samuelson knows Nick Becker very, very well. Teammates on the Olympic roster, but certainly know the preferred shots against one another in practice all the time.
Pretty good slap shot by Ma'a. They go over to Becker, and Becker puts it away. Nick Becker's been working on that line shot. He used to be a pattern cross-court hitter, but he's getting a lot more range. The big kid, about 6'5", out of USC. Originally went there as a walk-on. Everybody said, no, he's not good enough. Then he made All-American. Everybody said he couldn't make the Olympic team. He did that. And Nick Becker is turning out to be really a bright star of the future. Oh, quickly, Team Paul Mitchell behind Bob Samuelson and Matt Lyles, ahead by 5. The great Karch Kiraly, injured a week ago, dancing and celebrating his $64,000 win at the King of the Beach. Dancing with his parents, celebrating. He fell, apparently, or just tweaked his ankle. I guess he's entitled to have some fun, don't you think?
Hey, the season was over. Yeah. He had proven himself to be the best player on the beach at that particular tournament, and as voted by his peers, the most valuable player on tour this AVP season in 1992, and was whooping it up.
Yeah.
And
if you ever danced with Laz Kiraly, you've seen him wave the flag at the Olympic Games. He probably sprained Karch's ankle.
Well, what happened was that Laz and Karch were doing the boogaloo, and Laz doesn't jump quite as high as he used to, so he jumped up, came down, and then Karch probably landed on his foot. Typical volleyball injury, and Karch is on the shelf at least this week.
Mark Miller blocked. Dan Greenbaum, the heir apparent to Jeff Stork, for the USA national team job, and I think you're going to get a good look at a great young setter, number 2 in black, Dan Greenbaum. He was very, very impressive the time we got to see him in Barcelona, as Samuelson whips it by.
You know what I like about Greenbaum? He's very cocky.
Yeah.
Usually you don't like that, but here's a young kid who comes out on the court and just starts telling the veterans where to go and what to do, and that's what you need in a quarterback, somebody who can come in and take control of the situation.
Give it over to Kent Steffes. Now, of course, if you followed Kent Steffes' career, you know he started at Stanford, played 1 year, didn't get along with head coach Fred Sturm, then went over to UCLA, lost his eligibility because he took money in a beach tournament, or allegedly took money in a beach tournament, but was definitely modeling, or in a modeling ad, which you can't do. Had Powers over the top and down.
Well, I remember seeing the ad, and I thought, Steffes can't be doing this. He's still playing in college, so I knew there was going to be trouble as soon as that thing hit the press.
Pat Powers gets the kill. He's always a great team cup player because he can hit high and hard.
Nobody plays defense on that shot.
Nobody there.
Nobody needs to play defense on that particular play. Dan Greenbaum.
Greenbaum set the X to Steffes, who I believe just served, didn't he? Steffes is in the back row now, isn't he?
Some confusion here.
Keep in mind, anybody can block, but only the 3 frontline hitters can hit. Oh no, Ma'a. Nice dig by Obradovich. Whip it over to Powers. And he can't put it away. Point for Team Paul Mitchell. It's very tough to hit angle on 3 blockers.
And 3 big blockers and 3 very good blockers. Bob Samuelson, Mike Blanchard, Kent Steffes.
Big enough. Problem with the pass, Sato.
Bad set.
And Powers makes a bad set look good. Pat Powers, his parents Bob and Joanne, always watching on satellite up in Harrison, Idaho. Bob and Joanne, big fishing enthusiast. Pat Powers, also a fisherman. Of course, if you followed AVP, you know that he likes to travel around in his boat called the Bonus Bowl. He told me the other day he ran over a shark accidentally and cut it in half. Sounds like something that would happen to Pat
only
Powers.
Those sorts of things happen to Pat Powers.
The peeper. Jared Elliott, the first-year coach for Team Paul Mitchell. His qualifications, he was an all-star, actually a teammate of Kent Steffes on that mythical national championship team at Pacific Palisades High School under Howard Enstead. He went to Pepperdine University, played a couple of years there.
Got caught up in a coaching change.
Right.
When Marv Dunphy came back, a little change in philosophy, didn't quite fit in as well.
And Kent Steffes was looking for a coach, looking for someone that he could trust, and he went to one of his better friends, Jared Elliott. So we'll see. Elliott so far coaching well. His team leading 14-11. Can't beat that. Steffes. And the ball comes over. Toyota. Obradovich will set. Nice one. But to the wrong guy. Powers into the back line. Samuelson. Stuffed. Powers, Hovland, and Miller 6'9", 6'6", 6'4".
And Tim Hovland enjoyed this stuff block. One of the great players ever in Tim Hovland. Look at him taking away the cross-court 3 big blockers. Loves stuffing the new young star.
14 to 12. Powers. Timber as Powers tries to root that baby up.
The Redwoods planted and just, you know, got that hitter's mentality. Doesn't want to get down and play the good defense.
Like to say hello to Pono's Ma'a, wherever she may be.
Ran into Pono literally. I was out running a beautiful morning in Malibu and got back from my run. And
another running story, huh?
Yeah, another running story. There was Pono down on the beach. He and Dane Selznick, Jim Mingus were all in a Coca-Cola commercial. So keeping busy, making money day and night.
Pono with the serve. Very good 2-man player. Did most of his work on the 4-man tour this year. Becker snapping it through. Nick Becker. Give him the kill. And Toyota gets a point. Point for play. Becker wearing number 4. And Steve O'Bradovich, 5 Team Cup championships. He was always lucky enough, however, I would say, to be on Steve Timmons' team, as Timmons has also, I believe, won 4 or 5 of those. Lyles, right to Becker. Becker against 3. Oh, a rivet down the line. Pono dug it up. Lyles snapping it through. He's playing with the confidence of an AVP star or an Olympic star. Looking great.
Just got the quick arm swing, and that is the kind of aggressiveness and composure that a coach looks for in a player that can maybe do something in the future. You don't want tentative guys out here whiffing the ball around. You want somebody who'll come out and rip and challenge the best players in the game.
NCAA champs in 1991, that great Long Beach State team, as Becker flies it out of bounds, trying to hit line point. I think Becker has the right idea. Get the ball off the end blocker out of bounds when you got 3 on you.
Nick Becker needs to do one thing. He needs to become more explosive, and that's the hardest kind of training. You got to do your jumps. You have to run your sprints. It's the most painful kind of training, but that's what he needs to do. Got to get quicker, more explosive.
Whip the ball over to Steffes. He's blocked. Blanchard scoops it up, and it comes back over. Sato, back set. Becker, yes.
Got the good size. He made the Olympic team because he could receive, serve, pass the ball on the dime. And every good team in the Olympics, whether it be Holland, Brazil, the United States, the top 3 teams, all had players who could pass the ball. You can't pass, you can't win internationally.
Becker getting his chance at the 1991 Pan American Games. 81 kills, 7 aces. I had a chance to ask him down there in Havana, Cuba, what are your chances of making the 92 team? He said, I'm going to make it. People don't think so, but I'm going to make it. Very confident, but not in a cocky kind of a way. Paul, you and I interviewed him. He's just very straightforward. Yes, I'm going to make the team.
Well, I think he's got very specific goals in his mind, and he knows what he's got to do to get there. And he also has a very clear understanding of his attributes and what the coaches want. So you go out every day and work on what the coaches want. Pass in the fig, pass the ball to the setter. I become an Olympian. I come home with a bronze medal.
Here comes Bob Samuelson. And whip it over left side to Powers. Got a touch. Pat Powers going right over the top. Nicely done by the Peeper. And his teammate in the 1980 USC team, Tim Hovland, serving. So the Hov. Lollipops, the easiest serve in volleyball, bar none, as Greenbaum jamming. Nice play.
I told you, he's cocky, and that brings confidence, and he's smart, crafty, love the little goatee, and he throws the junk off the block.
So Dan Greenbaum and Paul Mitchell. So far, Mitchell has led all the way. We'll take time out. We're coming back 20 to 15 as Paul Mitchell has got the jump on Toyota. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland, Kent Steffes and Karch Kiraly. 2 of the great teams in the history of volleyball. We don't play, but Kent Steffes and Karch Kiraly did, and they amassed some astounding numbers, Paul.
16 tournaments together. 14 more than any other team on the tour. They completely dominated, tied an all-time record, 13 straight wins, snapped at Seal Beach, held by Jim Mingus and Greg Lee. Steffes set a record, most wins in a season, most prize money. Kiraly was second. Unbelievable sorts of numbers, and we talked about what a great year it was for volleyball overall. And the future looks even better. More and more people want to get involved in the sport. Everything getting worldwide. Women's professional indoor league started up.
And Honoma'a fires it off the block and out of bounds. So the ball going off Powers, and Greenbaum will serve. He's not really that big. He's about 6'3". He went to Rolling Hills High School out here in California, the plush part of Southern California. Mark Miller tees off. Did he get a touch? No. Mark Miller, one of the last players cut on the 1988 Olympic team.
6'9", was a basketball player at the beginning of his career, I believe, at Colorado State. Bill Neville found him in a volleyball camp and brought him down to San Diego. A raw talent when he started, but turned into a very good volleyball player.
Miller with the scoop. Here comes Powers. Good dig. Greenbaum dishing left side.
Look at Millie's up there all by himself. That is the first bonehead play for Team Toyota. You can block with 5, you can block with 6. Miller's up there by himself. That's a mistake.
23-15 is our score, and Steffes all alone. Team Toyota not organized right now, Paul.
Well, they had the backcourt covered. Unfortunately, the ball was hit straight down.
Right side, Powers getting it. Five kills for the Peeper, and Gary Sato will serve.
Lyles with a perfect pass, doing a good job. Mike Blanchard, a chiropractor, in his spare time, I should say professionally, has played in Team Cup for a long time, continues to be very consistent.
Oh, Bradovich rejected. So old number 99 coming in with 5 championships, and Blanchard, the chiropractor, sending it right back.
Nobody goes with Mark Miller. Everybody waiting on the combination play. If blockers don't go with a quick hitter, as they do this time, and Gary Sato sets him.
25-16. Team Paul Mitchell just crushing Team Toyota at the moment, as Powers, the bright spot, has 6 kills. Becker with 4. Nobody else with more than 1. Chip out of bounds. Point Team Toyota.
First mistake I can recall Matt Lyles making. Pretty heady situation for Matt Lyles, just out of Long Beach State, out there in the mix of a lot of very renowned players.
And once again, going back, you see the quick release of Dan Greenbaum. I tell you, he has the best 4-set release, I think even better than Jeff Stork. He gets it out there quicker and crisper, and I think any setter I've seen in the last 10 years.
Well, the trajectory is good, the location is consistent. Everybody thinks that it takes so much timing and perfection on the combination plays, but the ball set to the outside. The farther the ball grows, distance-wise, the greater the margin for error. That's a very tough ball to set.
Blanchard, he's a frontline player, so he'll come up and block in the middle. Miller. Left side to Becker, and Becker trying to tool Ma'a, does it. So Stevo Bradovich will have the ball. Once again, Karchkarai suited up, but unable to play because of a sprained ankle. He's sitting on the bench, and Team Toyota feeling the effects right now. They need the golden boy.
Who doesn't? Steffes
Smith
did.
and Stoklos.
I'm in on the same
Hovland
squad.
and Dodd. There's that 4-set again. Once again, the shoot set by Dan Greenbaum, and now all of a sudden 7 kills for Matt Lyles. So Lyles looking great. Orange Coast Junior College, the state MVP, on to Long Beach State, a first-team All-American. Set it left side to Becker. Inc. Hooked up. Nicely done. Lyles. And Hovland showing nice touch. Lyles with a dig. Millie with the tap down.
With the fister. Point. Nick Becker doing a very nice job hitting some sets in transition from the left side. If you're going to hit left side world class, you got to be able to hit balls that are just in the region. Matt Lyles with a dig, Millie with a fister tap down.
Substitution, Rob Wild, the head coach at UC San Diego men's program. He'll do a great job down there. It's starting to build it back up. Pretty good serve. Could get a point here. Sato, left side, Becker. Becker again. And Mitchell on top of it. Greenbaum blocked. Nice setup by Ma'a. Oh, Oh, there's the stuff. That was almost. You don't see that very often when the ball goes down faster than Lyles' feet. He almost steps on this ball.
Lyles cannot get this one out of the holster. Great college player and been having some success early, but there's nobody quite like the peeper to put the lights out.
Lyles comes back ripping, however, and cranks it down the line. Both teams frozen right now. We're at the freeze, 27-21 team Paul Mitchell.
To get back to that stuff block, the peeper is none other than Pat Powers.
Nice pass by Rod Wild. You know, if Rod Wild can pass, he's probably a little more valuable than Steve Obradovich.
Yeah, pretty smart sub, I think, by Rocky Chiarelli. Rod will bring a lot of defense, good serving, a lot of good court, quick movement, and another setter out there during the course of rallies and can hit the ball pretty well.
Oh, Mark Miller and Pat Powers. One thing we will see, Rod Wild is very, very aggressive. There will be some bumping into on Team Toyota before this match is over.
Look at Mark Miller and Pat Powers once again. Pat Powers, 34 years of age now, just skying getting over the net. Great leg.
Samuelson with huge heat. Now, what kind of hair care products do you think Paul Mitchell makes for Sammy?
Wax. Wax.
Keep
His
that
own
palate
brand.
cleaving.
What did they call him in Spain? El Bombilla?
Yeah,
the light bulb.
And he really hit that one hard. Hovland chipping it. It won't go. There's a point. So Paul Mitchell now at 28 and a timeout going to Team Toyota. So timeout, Team Paul Mitchell and their lead man Kent Steffes just 2 points away from victory. I'm going to give you a trivia question, Paul. Coming into this year, who has a better record? The #1 player on tour. Kent Steffes started out the year #3. He won 18, came in second 3 times, took 2 fourths. Karch Kiraly came into the year ranked 11th. He won 16, took 1 second, and got 1 fourth. And Karch is the #1 rated player on tour. What do you think about that?
It's just a question of computer rankings and statistics.
It doesn't seem right, though.
No, I agree with you because Karch did not play the full schedule. You know, it's figures don't lie, liars figure. It just depends how you set the thing up. But there was the #1 guy. Whoever wins the most money is the #1 guy.
Kent Steffes, he wasn't the Old Spice king of the beach, but he certainly was the AVP king of the bank. And Bob Samuelson may be the next king of the bank. He's going to make a lot of money before he's through. I talked to his agent, Tom McCarthy. He said deals are pouring in all over the place. He might be the most recognizable volleyball player in the world now. And he will surpass and I think supplant Steve Timmons in that role. From red sand to no sand. They're going to pocket left side to Steffes, and he drives it into the net. Pocket's too heavy.
Well, so is what we're telling young volleyball players all over the world. What you got to do is come up with a distinctive hairstyle.
Yeah.
And
be flamboyant.
Be flamboyant.
You have to be good, though. Or great. You have to be great. No doubt about that.
Well, that's what I was getting to. I mean, the bottom line is you still have to put it up on the court.
Greenbaum, and Steffes puts it away. So Kent Steffes and Team Paul Mitchell relying on left side heat. A lot of left side action.
And if the people in this country think that Bob Samuelson is popular here, just go with him sometime to Japan. Cannot go outside the hotel. They love him.
Quick set. Dug up. Left side. And the squeeze by. And Greenbaum will serve. 29-22, Paul Mitchell. Gain point now. Powers blocks. So Team Paul Mitchell taking control. The good guys in black, 30-22. Team Toyota needed a jump start, didn't get it. Back for more after this. Back at the Great Western Forum, Great Western Team Cup Volleyball, Paul Mitchell, a dominating performance in Game 1, routing Team Toyota 30-22. A couple of performers, Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland, not us, but Matt Lyles and Pono Ma'a. We talked about the stars, Kent Steffes and Bob Samuelson, but when you get support from your supporting players like Lyles and Ma'a and some of the other players, that's too much.
Well, they got more than support from Matt Lyles. I thought he really set the tone early. Absolutely fearless, bombing away on the left side against some renowned outside blockers, set the tone, passed the ball very well. Got his team off to a very, very good start offensively. Paul Mitchell leading 19-15 blocks, even. Diggs relatively even. But the big stat against Team Toyota, 10 hitting errors, 10 balls either stuffed, hit straight out of bounds. And in this speed scoring sort of situation, you're not going to have a chance to win. You make that many unforced errors.
Matt Lyles had 8 kills to lead Team Paul Mitchell, the kid just out of Long Beach State. For Team Toyota, not much production. Pat Powers had 6. Becker had 6, but no middle attack to speak of. Team Toyota can't get the middle going, and they're going to start Rod Wild, which I think is a good move because Rod Wild can set the middle from anywhere. Number 9 in white. Let's see what he does. He'll go to the middle right off, won't he? Yep. And a tough chance trying to feed it back to Miller. And
not much
point.
Not much more he could really do with that pass. It was passed so far over the net, just trying to get the paddles on the ball. Very difficult to take that ball and set it out to the outside.
Team Toyota, very different team without Karch. Not able to play because of a sprained ankle, and whipping it back to Mark Miller. Nicely done. And Rod Wild will serve. Let's see. Will he serve? Goes back as if to serve, and they try to figure it out, and they'll give the ball to Pat Powers. So Powers played most of the year with Mike Dodd, did it very well. Steffes, dig by Powers. And not a pretty play. You won't see that in the showroom, that's for sure.
No, that's why he's a setter. Rod can hit the ball, but that was just an ugly mistake. But another unforced error, hitting error. Been the problem for Team Toyota. Blanchard blocking the ball in the middle. Played at Pepperdine, played on the national team for a long time, played in Italy, has done a lot in volleyball, and blocking here against Mark Miller.
Obradovich. And Toyota went under the net, so it's going to be another point for Paul Mitchell.
Cannot violate the center line. Who went under? OB hits the ball through off the block. Should be a side out for Toyota, but center line violation. That's trouble.
Terrible set. Coming back over, Samuelson with a tomahawk. And Miller puts it away. Nice set. So Mark Miller will serve. Colorado Springs, Colorado. Paul mentioned his basketball skills. Played this year on the ABVL 4-man tour. Lyles, oh, and he hits it off Rod Wild's head. And the side out to Paul Mitchell. Just got our headsets tangled up there, Paul. Stop that. Obradovich shank left. Paul Mitchell is just all over Toyota right here. Greenbaum, back set, Pono. Shaky ball handling, but you really have to mangle one as Bob Samuelson. You talked about his popularity in Japan. They call it Sammy Mania when he goes over there, and he is just the biggest thing to hit there since Godzilla or Tom Selleck. Bob Samuelson. Toyota having troubles. 6-2 is our score. Sammy hook shot. Obradovich with the flop. And he'll crank it into the bottom of the net. Doesn't help you that much to have the number 5 on your jersey. As OB and Powers saying, look, hit that in, pal.
Go stand over there. Leave the hitting to me.
Steve Obradovich, one of the owners of Julie's Restaurant, the local watering hole down by the USC campus for all the USC football players and coaches. You think they'll beat Washington tomorrow? You think they have a shot, USC?
They got a shot at Washington. At Washington, that's awfully tough. Memories of when Todd Marinovich went up there and they got blasted 31-0. I just think Washington's the best team in the country. And surprisingly, Miami's really struggling a lot. Barely beat Arizona last week. There's a lot of good football being played in the Pac-10 this year.
Bono Ma'a will serve. You see the alignment. Keep in mind, in Team Cup volleyball, anybody can block. You can put 6 players up there if you want. Most teams using 4. Wild. Oh, what a stuff. Mike Blanchard very, very powerful. Talked about his chiropractic ability, and he has strong hands, Paul.
Talk about making an adjustment. He adjusts the trajectory right here on Nick Becker, blocking the ball straight into the floor.
9-3, Paul Mitchell. As the ball finally snuck through, and Wild, a different thought than Gary Sato. He's trying to work the middle, and I think you really have to get Paul Mitchell jumping just a bit.
Well, you got Mike Blanchard and Bob Samuelson anchoring the blocking of Team Paul Mitchell. You want to set the ball away from them or defeat them, so you got to establish the quick and then set the ball to the outside, free up your outside hitters.
Nick Becker up tight to serve. Good pass by Lyles. They'll set him. Nice block. One of the old gang, Tim Hovland. Boy, that was a sweet one-on-one block. Lyles never knew what hit him.
Hov seen it all, done it all. Went for the pose down after, but it doesn't work quite so well indoors. Been there, done that if you're the Hov.
Wild. Play action, Obradovic. He paws it up. And it's rocked out of bounds. No touch. And Hovland getting into it. Let's see if Ken Taylor brings the yellow card. You really have to rag the refs hard to get that yellow card in Team Cup. And a timeout is taken. So we've got an official's timeout. Hovland still working. Kenny Taylor, was there a touch on that last spike? Let's take another look.
OB mangles the ball up there, and Hov, there's no touch there, I don't think. That ball going straight out of bounds.
Game 2, the team in black with a commanding lead, 10-5. First night of Great Western Bank Team Cup Volleyball. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland. Paul Mitchell ahead of Team Toyota. A thriller in match number 1. In case you missed it, Coca-Cola knocking off Team Foot Locker. The Bruins and the Trojans together. Pat Powers and Craig Buck doing yeoman work. And Allen Allen, the A-bomb, going off. Coca-Cola running its record to 1-0. Pat Powers trying to carry the load on the left side, but Team Toyota, they just have not get it together. They're disorganized.
Well, and Toyota in a very similar position to Coca-Cola in our first match. Not playing very well, just hanging on, hanging in. And then Allen Allen turned it on. Maybe Pat Powers can do the same. Bob Samuelson ripping the ball from the right side. But Team Toyota playing without captain Karch Kirai. That is a...
Sammy with seven kills now, and he wails the jump serve out of bounds. And so Team Toyota will have it. One of the great things about Team Cup volleyball is that you can catch up so quickly because of the point per play scoring. We're having a good old time here. 11-7 is our score. Green bomb. Blanchard is rejected back, and Mark Miller starting to get his act together. Nice play by Miller. Green bomb, left side. Steffes. Wild has it. Nice play. Pancake was good. Tasted great. Green bomb. Slap shot in, score. Green bomb. Good setting mind. Keep your eye on number 2 in black.
Going to see a lot of him.
Yeah.
Certainly compete for the starting setting job in 1996.
He needs to get more physical.
Atlanta.
You talk about getting physical all the time. He needs to get bigger and stronger, though.
Well, I don't think, you know, just in what little I know of him, I'm not sure Greenbaum really understands or appreciates how important it is to do that kind of work.
He's got to get.
He's got to get much stronger. There are some young players in the woods, among them Canyon Seaman at Stanford, that will certainly challenge him for that prestigious spot in 1996. You better be ready.
Great scoop up by Pono Ma'a, and he scoops it right to Kent Steffes. And now 14-8. Paul Mitchell grooming Toyota at the moment.
Can Steffes do it all, indoors or out? I'll tell you, Steffes could start, and I asked Kent Steffes on the beach, I said, you know, you're going to do everything between now and 1996. Why don't you take 96 off the beach and play in the Olympics? And he said, well, no, I don't know. Could he be a starting swing hitter for the U.S. team or what?
Yeah, he could, but would you sacrifice $330,000 to do it? By 1995, he might make, well, let's figure it out. He's going to be making $600,000.
All right.
I figured $600,000 by 1995.
All right. And how much did you say Bob Samuelson is going to put in the bank? They finished with a bronze medal. Steffes, good-looking guy, articulate, well-spoken, goes out and leads the team in the United States to a gold medal. And we're not talking about missing the whole tour. By that time, the beach and the indoor games will be well integrated. You know, going for the gold medal. I think from a business point of view and everything else, it could be great for him.
There's not enough money in Ivana Trump's bank account to pay Bo Samuelson and Steffes if they're both on the national team. That's the way I see it. What do you think?
Well, you know, there's always the other possibility that beach volleyball is a demonstration sport in the Olympics, and that's where Steffes gets his exposure in that format, playing for the United States in the Olympic Games.
Coming back over. Wild. He's in trouble, and he goes down. And, you know, interestingly, Paul, that's almost the same play that Rod Wild broke his leg on in 1984. He would have been on the U.S. Olympic team. Kind of a jousty play at the net. Watch him going down here.
He is down here, and I'll tell you, the setters get caught up in all the traffic, and I was standing right next to Rod Wild when he broke his ankle. Oleg Moliboga from the Soviet Union, now the CIS, or unified team, as you will, came under the net. Rod went up to block, took Rod out, came down. You could hear the bones literally in Rod's calf snap, and that was the end of his Olympic dream.
So Rod Wild never got a chance to play in the U.S. Olympic team. Would have made the 1984 squad, but set and gone. Tried a brief comeback. Samuelson and Blanchard get another one going. 20-10, and Bob Samuelson got to cut off those sleeves as Paul Mitchell just jamming Toyota at the moment. Big smile on his face. Jarrett Elliott, Paul Mitchell head coach. He also has the best looking tie of all the four coaches tonight. Natalie Drest and his team rolling right now. Paul Mitchell won game one, 20-10. Make that game one and leads here in game two, 20-10. Chris Marlowe with Paul Sunderland as Paul Mitchell, the team in black, is just whomping up Toyota right now. Toyota just has never really gotten out of park.
Well, you start with passing and setting, and right now Paul Mitchell doing a much better job with Matt Lyles and Kent Steffes covering the court. And we've talked all night long, or certainly all match long, about Dan Greenbaum. He's holding things together. Another good pass, good selection, leads to at least a good opportunity, but a chance to score for Toyota.
Wild jams it up there, and Becker. Paul Mitchell touched the net. That's a point for Toyota. So Becker getting high and going over the top. He's a guy who's learned that you have to be physical to play on the Olympic team. He has really made strides with weight training.
Well, and that's part of the U.S. team's culture that somebody needs to rekindle the lead in. You remember when we were training for 84, we used to be just as competitive in the weight room. You know, what did you bench today? What did you do in the squats? Kirian Timmons took a big lead in that area, and that culture needs to be recreated with the next generation. You need to love going in the weight room and doing your jump training.
Also a guy who has built himself up. Ono, very, very buffed. Married to Lisa Strand, Ma'a, one of the stars on the WPVA, the Women's Pro Tour. She's also playing in the four-woman tour. What kind of a tour? There's tours for everything now. As Mike Blanchard will serve.
If you're a volleyball player and you love the game, remember that it's now a full-blown professional sport. You got lots of options.
Becker out of bounds. Another point for Paul Mitchell.
Reported some of the stars off the Brazilian team. Giovanni Gavio signed for close to $800,000 to play for Karch's old team, Il Messaggero. Remember McGraw, the great star of the gold medal match? He signed for $800,000. He's 19 years old, so lots of money being spread around.
First kill for Steve Obradovich. And they have to take him out after that because he's exhausted. So OB sits down, and here comes Gary Sato. OB huffing and puffing. Swung at one, got one. Sitting down next to Coach Karch. Blanchard scrambling. Pono
Nice
with
knuckler.
the knuckler. And
Almost
Team Toyota
is stuck in park.
not looking good. Left side, Lyles. Got it.
Good hustle by Blanchard. Pono Ma'a keeping the ball in play, and just complete lack of concentration here on the part of Team Toyota. Matt Lyles ripping the ball down the line. Quick arm swing.
Ma'a with the serve.
Nice blocking once again. Samuelson, Blanchard in the middle.
Ma'a still serving, and Team Toyota. Shank pass. They have Becker, who's an excellent serve receiver, but they really don't have another passer in there. Pat Powers trying to pass, and that is disaster. Pieper, a great hitter blocker, a good fisherman, but he can't pass a lick.
Just like when Igor Runov comes in for the unified team, you know the match is lost. Pat Powers not a passer on the dime.
Not sure exactly what you do with Karch Garai, your passing specialist, on the bench. Could Karch not play the back row at least?
Obviously not.
Guess not.
Hey,
Guess
he's the captain of the
Yeah.
team. He's sitting next to the coach. He's going, Coach, I can't play tonight.
Samuelson reaming one down the line. Bullet Bob. Ball should have been in because the linesman's foot was in. Now, don't get Samuelson started on a linesman.
He knows what to do with him. I don't think you'll see him get double yellow here. But the
That's a linesman mistake. Don't
yeah,
you
he's
think?
standing inside the court. The ball hit him right in the foot.
Ken Taylor giving the ball to Paul Mitchell.
Rocky Chiarelli asking for a replay here. He says, how can the ball be in if it hits the linesman in the foot who's supposed to be standing out of bounds?
26-15. It's not going to make much difference in this one unless Team Toyota, you know, gets it going. They're just in trouble. Wild sneaks one by Greenbaum. I don't know what Paul Mitchell doing that time. Greenbaum up there blocking as Wild gets his second kill.
Well, right now with a big lead, not really concerned. This format, they can side out here, score another point in speed scoring.
Nice play. Sato, left side. And Powers going to get the kill. So point to Toyota. They have to make some headway here before the freeze at 27. Greenbaum, calm, collected, doing his thing.
And got to block 3 or 4 balls in a row. If Toyota has any chance, got to block a few.
Pretty nice play. Dan Greenbaum to Kent Steffes. Steffes showing that perhaps he could play indoors. 5 kills. 27-17. Paul Mitchell now at the freeze. Team Toyota can get one more point if they can put this one away. No, Lyles with a dig. Steffes. Blocked.
Not a great set by Pono Ma'a. He knows it, but Steffes challenging the block with the big lead, up by 9. 27-18, nothing lost.
So both teams frozen right now at the freeze. Both teams need to serve to score a point. Might see some tougher serve. Greenbaum left side. And consistently Greenbaum getting 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, which is as good as you can get in Team Cup.
Well, you talked about his ability to get the ball to the outside. Good trajectory and location. Very good speed. Spreading the block of Team Toyota. And Steffes having his way.
Greenbaum to serve. Good pass by Becker. He's the only one who can pass on the floor right there. Powers zips it inside, sizzling the pits of Samuelson. And so the Pieper will serve. Greenbaum, Blanchard, yes. Oh, was that out? Boy, that looked like it was on the line from here.
Yeah,
maybe
sure
not.
did. That looked very close. Lyles passing the ball very, very tight to the net. Greenbaum making the one-handed save.
Let's check it out. No,
Can't tell.
I'm not losing my mind. That looked like it was Greenbaum.
Nice
Great,
dig.
beautiful dig by Wild. And Miller jams Blanchard. Nice play.
First joust of this match up top. Started by Rod Wild's dig, sprawling, and then the ball's on top of the net. You just got to push and shove, and the ball goes down.
Looking for a letdown for Paul Mitchell. Sato with a dig, chasing his Wild. Oh, and Becker mishits. Side out. That would have been an important point. Would have got Toyota up to 21 at least.
Well, we're in the latter stages of baseball season, and that looked like a swing by the Dodgers or the Angels this year. They have been bad.
Big hit. Sato dishing it off to Mark Miller. Mark Miller with 7 kills. And so Millie will serve. He's not a defensive player. He's going to charge right down the pipe here. Here he comes. See him entering right there.
Good looking offense. This offense, yeah. Dan Greenbaum, you know, we talked about how direct and how confident he is. He just comes out with a group of very experienced players, most of whom he has never been on the court with before, and says, you go here, you go here. This is what you're going to hit. This is what I'm going to set. You just put the ball away. That's the kind of direction and leadership you need.
Steffes, the captain this year, gone from rookie of the year to an afterthought to now one of the stars of volleyball.
A lot of speculation. You know, he'd been solid on the beach for about 3 years in a row since he was declared ineligible at UCLA. Could he come out and play indoors last year? If I'm not mistaken, he was among the 2 or 3 leaders in kills last year. Absolutely, he could do it.
And one of the leaders in blocks consistently is Mike Blanchard. He serves.
Inside, inside, inside!
Greenbaum with a dig.
That's a terrible set.
And a terrible block. It gave it back to Paul Mitchell. Looking for Samuelson. Back set Lyles, and he puts it away. Fabulous set by Dan Greenbaum.
Smart choice. Getting an absolutely perfect position. Again, getting one of his outside hitters one-on-one. Greeny looks gold here.
Yeah, he faked the whole entire
Look at
block
that,
out.
one-on-one.
Team Paul Mitchell trying to wrap it up here. Match point. Blanchard.
No!
And that will do it. So Team Paul Mitchell on the attempted jam. No sweat victory for Team Paul Mitchell. For Toyota, it's called AA MCO. Toyota just never got going. Team Coca-Cola won match 1. Team Paul Mitchell won match 2. Your quick impressions.
Paul Mitchell looked exceptional. Lyles, Ponoma'a, they did an excellent job passing the ball. Mike Blanchard was solid as always. Kent Steffes good, but Dan Greenbaum, very, very impressed with his leadership.
For those of you watching Prime Ticket, Press Box is up next. That will do it from the Great Western Forum. The final score, 30-20 for Paul Sunderland. I'm Chris Marlowe. The Great Western Forum now officially closed. So long.